So guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got a DDR5 video today, and I thought with this RAMapocalypse or RAMageddon or whatever it's currently being marketed as, all the buzzwords, I was just wondering whether there's anything we can do to sort of get a bit cheaper sort of build, and I did think about maybe this might be a good option. So these are OEM sticks, they don't come with any heat spreaders. They're obviously ripped out of a pre-built sort of desktop computer, a Dell or HP or something like that. But these are SK Hynix sticks, which are really nice. So it's the M die, unfortunately, not A die. But I think A dies are quite rare as a OEM stick. But I reckon these should still be good for maybe 6,000 mega transfer. These are 4800 mega transfer, CL40, 1.1 volts. Obviously without any heat spreaders, but I've got some heat spreaders off AliExpress. I think it was £8 for the pair, and this is the one out of the box. So it's a 2-piece aluminium heatsink. It comes with various sizes of heat pads, depending on whether your sticks are single or dual-sided. These are good for DDR3, 4 and 5. But the plan is to get that mounted on the OEM stick, and then just push it as far as we can, up the voltage, up the speeds, tighten those timings, and see if we can get close to some fairly decent kits. This was £150 for the 32 gig kit, 2x16. It was off Facebook Marketplace. The next cheapest, I think, was about £210. And that was only a 5600 mega transfer kit. And you know, people who's asking for silly money on the second-hand market, they're all being a bit greedy. But I'm not going to go into that. I just think it's bad for business. But no one's buying anything at the minute, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot of businesses sort of go bankrupt. But that's probably a topic for another video. But yeah, let's get on it. Let's get these heat spreaders mounted, and then get them in the system and see how far we can push them. Back in a minute. So these are the finished results. I think they've turned out really well. I'm really pleased with them, to be honest. For £8, I think they're very good. If we look to see how I'll put the thermal pads on, so I'll put the thicker one on the back of the board where there's no modules, and then I've just put like a thin one on the top of the modules, as well as the controller at the top, and they sort of sitting quite flush. It's all square, so yeah, it looks good. So I'm really pleased. I give them a bit of a clean with isopropyl alcohol just to get any grease off, because the pads aren't the stickiest things, they just kind of cling on. So the screws only actually just hold the two pieces together, so you could easily slide it out of the actual holder if you didn't have sort of good contact with the pads and have a bit of a clamping force. So I think it's important to clean them beforehand. But I think those pads I chose is a good choice, and I'm going to slap them in the system now, and we'll start tuning and see where we go. So see you in a bit. Right, I got them in. I think they look alright. I should have got them bronze to match the MSI Inspire, but I think into the silver. Well, it's just kind of like the unpainted aluminium, isn't it? It's kind of like a brushed effect, but I think they look pretty good. Got them at 6,000, cast 36, 36, 38, 38, 80, 118. 1-to-1 on the U-clock to mem clock. We're just doing some stress testing. It all seems good. We're only at 1.3 volts, I think. So these sticks, I think, have got a fair bit amount in them. I don't know where to go from here, whether I should just leave the timings and go for 6400 or 6200 first, or see if we can go for that CL30. We are done. So I spent a couple of hours last night trying to get 6400 to work, and it was fairly stable, but we kept failing Prime 95 large sort of file test after about 10 minutes, and I didn't matter what I did, I just couldn't seem to get it stable. So I've I've back down to 6200, and these are the settings that I've used. So you can see we're at CL30, 3838, 3878. It's 1.42 volts on the memory, I think. 1.35 VDDIO and VDDQ. And then the SoC voltage is 1.275, I think, which is quite high really for a 9000 processor. So obviously I didn't win the silicon lottery with that, but yeah, 6200 out of a 4800 kit, pretty good. So we're still testing. It's been tested around an hour, probably an hour and 15 minutes now, and it all seems good up to now. But yeah, let's carry on the discussion at the desktop.
Right, so let's just wrap things up quickly then. So after that was testing for maybe 2.5 hours. I don't normally test any longer than that. I don't see the need. I always say if you test for an infinite amount of time, you're going to find an infinite amount of errors. It's just, that's how Infinity works. So I just think that's enough. As long as you don't have any issues, 2 hours is plenty. But for these heat sinks then, so on AliExpress, like I said, this is the kit I got, £7.87 for 2. You can get there's loads of different options, like you got RGB ones and stuff as well, but you do have them on Amazon as well, RAM heatsink. But you find that it's the same stuff that's on AliExpress, but normally it's the same price, but for a single stick. So you have to be careful. Just make sure it's a two pack. But yeah, I think it's a good option. We had 6, so in the end we got 6200, didn't we? CL30, 1.42 volts, so it's a little higher than what I'd normally go, but 1.42, 1.45 is all right for 24/7 voltage. And now it's got the heat sink on it, or the heat spreader on it. It's going to dissipate that heat. When I was testing it, they were getting a bit warm to the touch, but I had that fan on the top, and that I had like no issues with that at all. But while we're on prices, then let's have a look on Amazon and have a look at the current price of DDR5 to see if we could see what a similar kit would cost us. So we got a 6000 kit, CL36. So that's probably a Samsung module kit. Let's have a look at some other possible SK Hynix ones. So Crucial will just be their own stuff. Lexar will be their own stuff. The CL30. So this is probably an SK Hynix kit. So 6000 CL30, £460. So if you look at that as a bit of a guide, we've saved ourselves quite a lot of money. So I think it's definitely an option. If there is just keep an eye out on Facebook Marketplace. There's loads on there. There's a lot of people asking for silly money, but just, if they want to sell it, they'll sell it. So just be cheeky and offer some silly money. But definitely do not on a new system go DDR4, because if you look at DDR4 prices now as well, it's not as bad, but it's getting there. So for example, this kit here, this Corsair Vengeance LPX kit, £240. I did a build back in September, and this was £60 that kit for that same kit. So you're not saving any money, and you're not future-proofing yourself. So unfortunately, you'll have to just bite the bullet and sort of pay that little bit extra for a DDR5 system. Because the DDR5 motherboards are actually quite a good price. So if we look at like a B650 motherboard or something, obviously we're just looking at AMD things here, but the same goes for Intel as well. But yeah, look at this B60 Eagle, £123. That's a Wi-Fi one. So if we look at like what's the previous one, B550 is it? B550 motherboard Wi-Fi, £120 for like a good one with Wi-Fi. B550 MA, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look very good. The Tough Gamer one looks pretty good. 120, 100. 150 for a Strix. So you see what I mean? It's just not worth going for an AM4 or a DDR4 system, because for maybe 20-30% more money for a build, you're going to get something that's going to last. Let's have a look at, before I go, let's have a quick look at AM4 processor prices, because I'm sure that's gone up as well. So yeah, look at this. It's just like a 5800X, £180. Again, back in September, it was like 110, 120 maybe. The 5700X was definitely about 110. So yeah, just be careful, man. Everyone's getting priced out of the market, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. If you can hold off for a new system, maybe just hold off. But if you're desperate for a new system, don't go AM4 or DDR4, because unless you can get a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace or eBay and you're happy to buy secondhand, but like I say, you want to try to have a direction to go for your next upgrade. And if you go AM4, you're kind of scupping yourself, and all that money is just going to go pretty much down the drain. But that's it. Anyway, I'm wrapping up. I've talked long enough. But let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea, getting an OEM kit and slapping a heat spreader on, whacking up the volts, turning up the speeds, tightening them timings. I think it's possibly an option. So I'll see you guys in the next one.